Have you ever felt the sheer exhaustion of trying to force your way to success, only to find yourself burned out and standing still? Imagine a version of you who operates with absolute frictionlessness. A version of you who doesn't react to chaos, but absorbs it, neutralizes it, and uses it to your advantage. If you click away now, you will return to the endless, grinding loop of modern hustle culture. Trying too hard, stressing too much, and looking painfully average while doing it. But in this video, we reveal the ultimate power move of the modern elite: elegance. Not the superficial elegance of old money, etiquette rules, or luxury brands, but the deep, psychological architecture of effortless mastery. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Effort. Society tells you that bleeding for your goals is the only honorable way to succeed. They sell you the hustle. They tell you to wake up earlier, grind harder, and sacrifice your peace at the altar of raw productivity. But here's the truth. The loudest in the room is rarely the most powerful. The one sweating the most is almost always the least efficient. Think about it. The people you truly admire, the absolute masters of their craft, do not look like they are struggling. Whether it is a world-class athlete, a top-tier executive, or a brilliant artist, they operate in a state of frictionless execution. This is what modern psychology identifies as flow. Elegance is not the absence of work. Elegance is the absence of visible friction. The average person relies on chaotic spikes of dopamine and adrenaline. They need the rush of panic to meet a deadline. They use stress as their primary fuel source. You feel imposter syndrome because your subconscious mind knows you are brute forcing your way through life rather than moving with precision. This leads us to the burnout epidemic you see around you. You feel it in your own nervous system right now. The chronic tension, the inability to sit still in a quiet room. However, the elite understand a fundamental principle of neuroplasticity: what you practice, you become. If you practice frantic urgency, your brain wires itself for chronic anxiety. If you practice calm, deliberate execution, your brain wires itself for mastery. Consider the case of the Stoic philosopher Seneca. He did not advocate for reckless, non-stop action. He advocated for calculated precision. He knew that wasting energy on panic was a literal theft of your own life. Don't rush, don't force outcomes, just observe. The next time you are faced with an overwhelming task or a high-pressure scenario, stop. Do not dive in with frantic energy. Pull back. Breathe. Map the terrain before you take a single step. You must stop confusing movement with progress. Running in circles might make you tired, but it will never make you elite. To step into true elegance, you must unlearn the habit of struggling loudly. You must realize that true power is entirely silent. It is the iceberg, 90% of its mass hidden deeply beneath the surface, immovable and secure. You are not your anxiety, you are not your frantic thoughts, you are the observer. When you master this internal stillness, the external world begins to bend to your will. You stop chasing outcomes out of desperation, and you start aligning with them through intention. This psychological shift is the foundation of all elegance. But mastering your internal state is only the first phase. To truly command your reality, you must physically embody this stillness. Which leads us directly to the external architecture of how you move through space. Chapter 2. The Architecture of Poise. It is easy to feel disconnected from your own body when you live entirely inside your head, battling modern anxieties. You spend your days hunched over screens, your physiology collapsing inward, your breathing shallow and trapped in your chest. Your body is broadcasting a signal of defeat and submission before you even open your mouth. But here's the truth. Your physical presence is the loudest and most defining statement you will ever make. Most people never realize that the mind and the body are not separate entities. Modern neuroscience proves what the Stoics understood instinctively. Your physiology dictates your psychology. When you shrink your physical footprint and fold into yourself, your brain reduces testosterone and spikes your cortisol levels. You are literally, biochemically engineering your own insecurity. For example, watch how the average person navigates a crowded street, a busy office, or a networking event. They dodge, they scurry, They physically apologize for simply taking up space. Their movements are erratic, defensive, and completely devoid of intention. On the other hand, watch a master. Watch someone who possesses true, weaponized elegance. Their movements are highly deliberate. They do not hurry, they arrive. The key is spatial ownership. Elegance requires you to move through the world as if you belong exactly where you stand. It is the physical manifestation of deep, unshakable alignment with your own value. Marcus Aurelius spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind. Your physical body must become the outer wall of that fortress. Stop fidgeting, stop the nervous tapping of your foot, eradicate the physical leaks of your energy. Every time you shift your weight unnecessarily, every time you touch your face or neck out of nervousness, you are leaking your power. You are telling the room that you are uncomfortable in your own skin. Think about it. The apex predator does not waste movement. The leader does not sprint to the front of the room. They walk with absolute certainty. You must reprogram your physical architecture today. Start with your spine. Stand as if an invisible thread is pulling the crown of your head directly toward the ceiling. Widen your shoulders to open your chest. Breathe from your diaphragm, not your throat. And most importantly, slow down your walking pace by just 10%. This slight deceleration signals to your primitive nervous system that you are safe, that you are the one in control. This is not about arrogance. Arrogance is loud, fragile, and desperately requires external validation. Poise is entirely self-contained. When you slow down your physical form, the world slows down with you. People naturally lean in to observe you. They unconsciously make way for you. You transform from an obstacle to be navigated into a gravitational force. You become the eye of the storm. Mastering your physical form creates an impenetrable fortress of calm. But this physical dominance will instantly collapse the moment you open your mouth if you do not know how to ruthlessly curate your words. Chapter 3: Verbal Minimalism. It's easy to feel unheard in a world that never stops screaming. You think that to prove your value, you must explain yourself. You overcommunicate. You justify your decisions. You fill awkward silences with nervous chatter because the quiet makes your skin crawl. You are treating your words like cheap currency, inflating them until they lose all value. But here's the truth. The most powerful person in the room is the one who is comfortable with silence. Most people never realize that over-talking is often a trauma response. It is a desperate bid for validation. You speak because you want to be understood, but ironically, the more you talk, the less people listen. You dilute your own authority with every unnecessary syllable. Think about it. When a king speaks, he does not ramble. He issues a decree. When an elite negotiator makes an offer, they state the terms and then shut their mouth. The pause is where the power lives. For example, consider the last time you were in a high-stakes conversation, a salary negotiation, an argument, a pitch. The moment you finished making your point, you probably felt the agonizing urge to keep talking just to smooth the tension. You negotiated against yourself. You gave away your leverage because you could not tolerate the psychological weight of the void. On the other hand, the Stoic few understand that silence is not empty. It is heavy. It forces the other person to lean in, to wonder what you are thinking, to fill the space themselves. He who speaks least controls the frame. Stop over-explaining. Stop justifying your existence. Speak only when it improves upon the silence. When you do speak, be absolute. Remove the qualifiers from your vocabulary. Strip away the I think, maybe, and just. These are verbal crutches used by the unsure. State your reality, let the statement hang in the air. The key is to detach from their immediate reaction. You are not responsible for their comfort, you are responsible for your clarity. Modern psychology shows us that holding back information creates an aura of unpredictability and competence. It preserves your dopamine system by preventing the cheap thrill of oversharing. You conserve your energy, you become a vault. Mastering your words is a lethal tool. But even the sharpest tongue will betray you if your internal emotional state is volatile. You can say the right things, but if you are internally frantic, the mask will slip. This leads us to the ultimate foundation of all true power, the mastering of your internal weather. Chapter 4: The Stoic Center. You are living in an attention economy designed to trigger you. Every headline, every notification, every slight is engineered to hijack your amygdala and force a reaction. It is easy to feel entirely out of control when your mood is dictated by an algorithm, a difficult boss, or a careless comment from a friend. You have handed the remote control of your nervous system to the outside world. However, true elegance dictates a total recall of that power. Emotional regulation is the ultimate modern luxury. Society tells you that expressing every emotion is healthy and authentic. They sell you the lie of unbridled reactivity. But here's the truth. Reacting to everything makes you a puppet. If anyone can make you angry, anyone can control you. If any minor inconvenience ruins your day, you are not free. You are a slave to circumstance. Consider the case of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He commanded the greatest army in the world, faced plagues, betrayals, and endless wars. Yet, his personal journal, Meditations, is not a record of his complaints. It is a manual for remaining completely unbothered. He understood that you cannot control what happens to you, but you maintain absolute tyranny over how you respond. You are not your anger, you are not your panic, you are the observer. The average person feels an emotion and instantly becomes it. A wave of frustration hits and they snap. A wave of fear hits and they retreat. They lack the space between stimulus and response. The key is to stretch that space. When you are attacked, when plans collapse, when the world demands your panic, do not give it to them. Deny them the satisfaction of your breakdown. Breathe. Detach. Analyze the emotion as if it belongs to someone else. This is not about suppressing your feelings, it is about refusing to let them drive the car. When you remain calm while everyone else is losing their minds, you become terrifyingly competent. You conserve your psychological capital. You act on logic, not temporary chemical spikes in your brain. This stoic center is an invisible shield. People will try to provoke you simply to test your boundaries. When you meet their chaos with absolute chilling calm, you neutralize them instantly. Your peace becomes your weapon. You have now built the physical poise, sharpened the verbal minimalism, and secured your emotional fortress. But this internal mastery must now be applied to the external world you choose to interact with. If your environment is toxic, cluttered, and draining, even the strongest fortress will eventually fall under siege. To sustain this elegance, you must ruthlessly design your surroundings. Chapter 5. Curated Realities. It is easy to feel entirely suffocated by your own life. You wake up to a barrage of notifications, an overflowing inbox, and a calendar packed with obligations you do not even care about. You feel chronically exhausted because your attention is being fractured into 1,000 microscopic pieces. You are drowning in a sea of trivialities. Society tells you that abundance is the ultimate goal. They sell you the lie that having more friends, more apps, more side hustles, more opinions, makes you important. But here's the truth. Your clutter is a symptom of your inability to say no. Most people never realize that their environment is actively hacking their psychology. Modern neuroscience calls this decision fatigue. Every useless object on your desk, every toxic acquaintance you entertain, and every mindless subscription you pay for is draining your prefrontal cortex. You are leaking cognitive bandwidth just trying to process the mess around you. Think about it. When you walk into a high-end luxury boutique or a world-class art gallery, what is the first thing you notice? Space. Elegance requires empty space. It demands breathing room. The average person hoards everything out of a deep, subconscious scarcity mindset. They cling to people, habits, and objects because they are terrified of emptiness. On the other hand, the elite operate with ruthless essentialism. They understand that their physical and digital environments are direct reflections of their internal state. For example, look at your phone screen right now. Look at your social circle. Look at where your money went last month. If your environment is chaotic, your mind will be chaotic. You cannot sustain an elegant, high-performing mind inside a digital and physical dumpster fire. Consider the case of the Stoic philosopher Seneca. He wrote extensively about the brevity of life, noting that we are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting it on pointless things. You are bankrupting your most valuable asset, your attention. Stop hoarding. Stop saying yes out of guilt. Start aggressively auditing your reality. Delete the apps that hijack your dopamine. Cut ties with the energy vampires who only call to complain. Throw away the physical items that do not serve an immediate, high-level purpose. The key is to curate your life so intensely that everything left is either deeply functional or profoundly beautiful. When you strip away the excess, you are no longer distracted by the noise. Your vision clears. You become dangerous because you are finally focused. However, building a perfectly curated life is only effective if you can protect it. You can organize your space and silence your phone, but eventually, reality will break down your door. A crisis will hit. When the walls shake, your curated reality means nothing if you crumble with it. This leads us to the ultimate test of your new architecture. Chapter 6. Grace Under Fire. It is entirely easy to act elegant when everything is going your way. Anyone can feign poise on a quiet Sunday morning. The true test of your character does not happen in a meditative retreat. It happens when the market crashes, when the deal falls through, or when someone deeply betrays you. It is easy to feel your pulse spike and your vision narrow when the world suddenly catches fire. Society tells you that panic is a natural, acceptable reaction to chaos. They expect you to vent, to scramble, to join the collective hysteria. But here's the truth. Panic is the ultimate failure of elegance. Most people never realize that their panic serves absolutely no functional purpose. From a psychological standpoint, an amygdala hijack completely shuts down the logical centers of your brain. You revert to a primal, reactive state. You become predictable. You become weak. Think about it. Panic is highly contagious. When a ship starts sinking, the passengers scream and trample each other. But the captain? The captain remains entirely still, analyzing the variables. The captain does not have the luxury of losing his mind. For example, the next time a sudden crisis hits your workplace or your personal life, watch the average person. They instantly begin narrating the disaster. They complain loudly. They seek validation for their stress. They move erratically. They are entirely consumed by the problem. On the other hand, the Stoic few understand that the obstacle is not the problem. Their reaction to the obstacle is the problem. They do not merge with the chaos. They stand apart from it. Consider the case of Epictetus, the Stoic slave who endured unimaginable hardship. He taught that men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. When crisis strikes, the master does not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The master asks, "What is my next immediate move?" Stop narrating the disaster. Stop feeding the panic with your words and erratic movements. Hold your frame. When the rest of the room loses its mind, lower your voice. Slow your breathing. The key is to force a wedge between the triggering event and your response to it. This takes immense neuroplastic rewiring. You must train your brain to associate high-stress environments with deep, sudden relaxation. When you maintain your form under heavy fire, you become a terrifying force to those around you. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the anchor for everyone else's reality. They will instinctively look to you for permission to breathe. By mastering this grace under pressure, you generate an undeniable magnetic pull. People are drawn to those who cannot be shaken. You have stopped chasing success. You have become the immovable object that success revolves around. Chapter 7. The Psychology of Magnetism. It is easy to feel completely invisible, even when you are doing everything society tells you to do. You hustle for attention. You aggressively network. You pitch yourself in every room you enter, terrified that if you do not scream your value, no one will notice you. You are treating your worth like a cheap infomercial. Society tells you that you must chase success, chase relationships, and chase opportunities. They sell you the desperation of the grind. But here's the truth. Chasing inherently implies that you are running after something that is trying to get away. Most people never realize that human psychology is hardwired to repel desperation. When you operate from a state of need, your neurobiology broadcasts lack. You spike your cortisol and people subconsciously detect your anxiety. You become a psychological liability to them. Think about it. The hardest things to acquire are the things that do not want to be caught. The moment you stop pursuing, the dynamic inverts. For example, look at the dating market or high-stakes business negotiations. The person who needs the deal the most always loses. The person who is entirely willing to walk away holds all the power. When you desperately try to impress someone, you hand them your authority. You make them the judge, and you become the performer. On the other hand, the Stoic few understand the law of reversed effort. They do not chase, they attract. They build their internal value to such an undeniable level that opportunities naturally gravitate toward them. Stop pitching yourself. Stop begging for a seat at the table. Build your own table. The key is to shift your dopamine baseline. Instead of getting a hit from external validation, a new follower, a compliment, a signed contract, you must get your dopamine from internal alignment. When you are deeply anchored in your own competence, you stop looking around the room to see who is watching. You become a black hole of gravity. People are drawn to you because you are not trying to siphon their energy. You are completely self-sustaining. This leads us to the final, ultimate level of the game. Once you have built the poise, the silence, the emotional control, and the magnetism, you must execute the hardest step of all. You must make it look like you aren't trying at all. Chapter 8. The final stage of making perfection. It is easy to feel rigid and mechanical when you first apply these laws. You are hyper-aware of your posture, your words, and your emotional state. You are trying so hard to be elegant that you become stiff. Society tells you to show your work. They tell you to post your grind, broadcast your early mornings, and let everyone know exactly how hard you are working behind the scenes to become elite. But here's the truth. Visible effort breaks the illusion of mastery. Most people never realize that true power is entirely effortless. In modern psychology, this is known as unconscious competence. It is the fourth and final stage of learning, where a skill becomes so deeply ingrained in your neural pathways that it operates on complete autopilot. Think about it. A master pianist does not stare at their fingers. A world-class martial artist does not think about their footwork. They simply exist in a state of flow. During the Italian Renaissance, courtiers coined a term for this specific type of power, sprezzatura. It translates to studied carelessness. It is the art of making the incredibly difficult look entirely accidental. Consider the case of a swan gliding across a lake. Above the surface, it is pure, undisturbed grace. Below the water, it is paddling furiously. The world only ever sees the grace. You must hide your sweat. Stop complaining about how tired you are. Stop bragging about your sacrifices. Conceal the grind. The key is to internalize the discipline so deeply that it looks like your natural personality. When you execute flawlessly and then simply shrug it off as if it was nothing, you elevate yourself from a hard worker to a force of nature. People will wonder if you are a genius, if you have an unfair advantage, or if you simply see the matrix. Let them wonder. Let them project their awe onto you. When you stop trying to prove how hard you work, you unlock the final tier of elegance. You move through reality without friction. You do not just navigate the world, you bend it to your exact specifications, and you do it without leaving a single fingerprint. Conclusion. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer scale of this transformation. You have spent your entire life being conditioned to react, to panic, and to scream for attention. But the blueprint is now completely in your hands. You know that effort is an illusion, that your physical presence dictates your psychological reality, and that silence is your most lethal weapon. You understand that your emotional center is an impenetrable fortress, and that by ruthlessly curating your reality, you starve the chaos. Most people will watch this and change absolutely nothing. They will return to their noisy, cluttered, desperate lives. They will continue to chase a version of success that leaves them hollow and chronically exhausted. But you are not most people. You now possess the architecture of true power. The choice to step into this new reality is entirely yours. You can remain in the crowded, frantic middle, or you can step into the quiet, unshakable power of the top 1%. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Start stripping away the excess today. If you are ready to stop forcing your way through life and start commanding it with effortless mastery, then step out of the noise. Join the stoic few who understand that true power whispers while the rest of the world screams. Success is not a destination, it is a discipline,